Hey, good morning, everybody. We're still in Atlanta. I'm getting some much needed instruction from some of the most incredible minds in business. There are a ton of people that have helped us along this journey, and this is just part of where we're going. And I'm absolutely in love with the idea of absorbing knowledge, but there's something beyond that I want to share with you this morning. It's not just about absorbing knowledge. You can have all the coaches in the world. You can have all the instructors in the world. You can have everything laid at your feet. But except you do these three things, these aren't the only three things, but if you do these three things that I'm going to share with you this morning, you'll be able to apply that knowledge and get unstuck. Some of you are stuck because you are afraid to be successful. Somebody said, "Oh, I'm afraid of failure." No, you're not afraid of failure. You're afraid to be successful because you don't know what it's like to be on the other side, to get a client, to make money, to launch out on your dream that you've always had. You need to be successful, right? But you're afraid of what that means. So you never embrace it. You're the perpetual student. You go to every workshop, you go to every class, you go to every seminar, you sit at the feet of some of the best gurus in the world, but you never execute. So I want to talk about that this morning. I want to talk about three things or three steps that you can do right now to set yourself free. Let's level up, shall we? The first thing I want to talk about is write it down. You have a vision, you have a passion, you have something that you want to achieve. Write it down. Get a notepad, get a piece of paper, get a napkin. It doesn't matter. Get a paper towel if you have to. If you want to get all fancy, then go get yourself a notebook, right? See that? Get yourself a little notebook and start writing. I can show you the notes. I've got pages and pages and pages of notes from incredible people that have poured into my life. But listen, it won't do you any good until you write it down, because you can have it in your head, but your head will bounce things around, right? And you'll never commit to it because it's just in your head. So the first thing I want you to do is I want you to write it down. The second thing I want you to do is I want you to call your accountability partner. So stop right there. If you don't have an accountability partner, someone you can trust with your life, then I suggest you find one today, because this is somebody that you need to bounce things off of that's not going to obliterate you every time you share your vision or your passion to go do something, right? So I've got one of my best friends in the world I'll give you an example. He calls me the other day and he says, "Greg, I want to be vegan again." I'm like, "Okay, I'm going to follow this particular eating path." And I said, "Okay, if that's what you want to do, and then we talked about steps on how he could be successful this go around. And so the last thing he said to me before we hung up, he said, "Greg, thank you for not beating me up over this decision. Why would I do that? Why wouldn't I want to support you in your venture?" That's the kind of person that you need in your corner. You need somebody who is going to support you and give you good, sound advice. That accountability partner, someone that's going to hold your feet to the fire and not just tell you, "Oh yeah, you're doing fine," when you're really not. Dude, if I'm going with the client to take pictures and they've got something on their face, maybe, I had a client yesterday, they wiped their face with the towel, right? And a little bit of the paper towel got left on their face. If I wouldn't just shot those pictures and ended up leaving that on there, what do you think's going to happen, right? Because I didn't have the guts enough to say, "Hey man, you need to correct that," or "Your hair's out of place," or "You might need to make this change or that change." That's the accountability partner that I need you to look for. Now, that's not an easy thing to do, to hear those kinds of corrections, but we need that, right? Not only that, but once you write it down and you tell this accountability partner that, "Hey, I'm getting ready to do this," they can say, "Okay, well, what's your plan? What are you getting ready to do? How can you get there?" Now, I'm going to suggest to you that you get an accountability partner for somebody where you want to go, not where you are right now, right? If you get somebody where you are right now, then they're not well versed in the direction that you want to go. So if you can do that, sometimes having a coach is in a space where you want to go is the accountability partner that you need. Okay. So if you don't have a coach, I suggest that you get one. For everything that we do, I've learned the value of having a coach and having that accountability in my life, because I will be more successful that way. If you're incredible and you can do it all on your own, then that's good. I'm not in that space, but the chances are you're incredible, but you can't do it on your own. That's why you're stuck in the position that you're in right now, right? So here's the deal. Write it down, number one. Number two, get an accountability partner, call them, tell them what you're planning, and then see what comes out of that, right? You guys kind of brainstorm a little bit. And the third thing I want you to do, let me back up. The reason why you tell your accountability partner is so that they can hold you accountable, right? So now you've put it out there in the ether, right? So not only did you write it down, but you told somebody about it. Somebody that's not going to beat you up and say, hey, let's go be successful with this. And the third thing I want you to do is to make a plan of action, right? Make a plan of action. So write it down, call your accountability partner, make a plan of action. If you don't have a plan of action, then you're going to be in trouble, right? Because the old adage is that a goal without a plan is just a dream. You've heard that before, right? A goal without a plan is just a dream. So stop dreaming and start living your dreams, right? You can't do that unless you write out your plan of action. So write it down, tell your accountability partner, and then build a plan of action so that you can execute that thing. Are you with me on that? Okay. So those three things, I promise you, if you do those three things, you put that into action, you put that into practice with the things that you want to accomplish, it will take you light years ahead of where you would have been had you just left that thing in your head. Does that make sense? Now I want to leave you with this. Excuse me. Don't overthink it. Greg Healey is an overthinker, right? So that's why I have accountability partners, and that's why I have coaches, and that's why I have people around me. My wife is super strong, and we bounce things off of each other all the time, right? So if I have something that's going on, I talk to her about it, and then she's like, hey, dude, I thought you were going to do this or that other thing. And I'm like, oh, yeah, I forgot about that. Or, yeah, and she kind of holds my feet to the fire. So that's good, right? But I'm also putting myself in a place of vulnerability so that I can take instruction, so that I can be led down the path when I'm not going that way. Because let's face it, folks, you don't always feel like doing it. I'm just saying. I don't always feel like getting up at, 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning to get the work done that needs to get done, right? Or staying up late just so that I can get it done. Or I don't always feel like taking time away from, my family or some of the fun things that are going on in the community just to sit down and pound out what needs to get done. But if you have these things set in place, you're more likely to get the work done, because it's not always about having fun on that end, right? You can have fun as soon as you get done doing the work, but you got to put in the work. This isn't going to come to you for free, right? The information you can attain for free, but let me tell you something. When you get ready to apply this stuff, expect challenges, and you're going to have to rise up to the occasion. If you want to be an entrepreneur, it's not just going to get handed to you. You're going to have to step up. If you want to build a ministry, if you want to do things that are in your wheelhouse, then no one's going to do that for you. You got to step up and do that thing for yourself, right? Now I'm saying, God's going to do that thing for me. If I take one step, God will take two, and all those fun things that we talk about. The problem is nobody takes action. Quit putting all this stuff on God and start taking accountability of your own actions, right? Start taking responsibility for the things that you need to get done. If you want to write a book, stop talking about it and sit down and write a book. If you don't know how to do that, call me. DM me. I've got a plan. Matter of fact, wait for it. In the next month, we're going to have it all finished up. We've got a program coming out, how to write a book, how to write and publish a book in 7 days. And if it sounds like a pipe dream, it's not. I'm going to go through step by step exactly how you can write and publish a book in 7 days. And I'm going to give you ways for you to be able to do that and get that done without any effort, for real. So if you're, but you're going to have to make that step. You can't just walk into an idea and expect it to, rub a genie lamp and expect the thing to manifest all on its own. You're going to have to put in the work. That's the bottom line. You're going to have to put in the work. So here, let me recap real quick. The 3 steps that I want you to take in order to achieve that next level, to go to the next level, right? I want you to write it down. Write down your vision, write down your goal, right? And then I want you to call your accountability partner. I want you to tell everybody that you trust, your accountability partners, about your dream. Some people say don't tell people about your dream because there's dream killers out there. Well, if you sit in fear all of your life and not tell people where you're going, then you'll never be an entrepreneur. You'll never make money. You'll never achieve your goals. You'll never build ministry. You'll never do the things that are in your head because you're so afraid of what other people are going to say. Who cares? Right? So write it down, call your accountability partner, and the third thing is build a plan. Build a plan that's actionable, that's smart, that's good for you to execute so that you can get this thing done. Okay? That's what I want you to do. And don't overthink it. Listen, my coach tells me all the time, done is better than perfect because perfect never gets done. I need you to just get it done. Just get it done. Stop talking about it and be about it. It doesn't have to be perfect. Stop trying to fix your hair for the camera and stop trying to, get all groomed up for the camera before you get on camera, and do what you're supposed to do, if that's what you're supposed to do, right? But stop trying to be perfect. Just go get it done. People are waiting on you to manifest yourself so that they can be blessed. But they can't be because you got everything locked up on the inside, and the key of fear is holding it back. So I need you to let it go, okay? Write it down, call your accountability partner, build a plan, and start moving. Let's level up, right? And don't overthink it. For God's sake, don't overthink it. Just do it. All right? Love y'all.